Hello, everybody. We are at 2 o'clock, and to be respectful of everybody's time, we're going to kind of get rolling here as people are popping in. If you guys would like to, you can turn your cameras on. You don't have to turn your cameras on, but it would always helps to see nice smiling faces back at us. In any event, my name is Britton Scheibe. This is my wife, Jody, and we are here in San Diego. I already see Melody telling us she's from Montreal. If you guys want to put in the chat where you guys are coming from. Let's see. Ariana is from Barcelona, from Spain. That is awesome. I see a couple familiar faces in here. In any event, we just really appreciate you guys popping in. We're going to talk about what it looks like to become a Prüvit promoter. If you already are a Prüvit promoter, you could put a 1 in the chat. If you're curious about becoming a Prüvit promoter, maybe put a 2 in the chat. What we're talking about is what it looks like to share this wonderful technology. I'm sitting here sipping on sweet tea lemonade. It's one of my favorites. Jody's got
sitting keto kick ready to go.
Tangerine Sun. All right, we got Washington State. We've got Houston. All right, awesome. Well, like I said, my name's Britton. This is my wife, Jody. We have been a part of this Prüvit community for just about 5.5 years now. And being a promoter has been like completely like a mind-blowing, unbelievable experience for us. We've gotten to help thousands of people become better versions of themselves. It's allowed us the opportunity to travel all over the place, meet some incredible people, and really just change a lot of lives. If that's something that you think sounds like something you'd like to do, listen, you don't have to have any type of special skills to become a promoter. All you have to do is care about other people and want them to find better for themselves. And really, it's about creating enough curiosity to want for them to want to try ketones. If you can create curiosity, you can be a promoter. So honestly, we're just super excited for you guys to pop in. We're going to hear some amazing stories from a few people today. Started with my beautiful wife, Jody, here, and we're just going to really respect everybody's time. We're going to try to give you guys the information. If you guys have questions, pop it in the chat. It's a small group today, so you have plenty of opportunity to interact. If you have questions, feel free to ask them. We just appreciate everybody hopping in.
So my brain isn't firing yet. I'm not through my keto up. Was a 1 in the chat? What did that mean?
1 means you're a promoter already. 2 is you are considering becoming a promoter.
Oh, this is awesome. Okay, so we have a lot of people who've already been jumping in to share ketones. I just wanted to take a couple minutes and share my story with how I got started to see if any of you can relate if you're listening. So thank you, Britton. Like he said, my name is Jody. We are married almost 25 years. I was thinking today, you better be on that anniversary trip.
That's really impossible.
Better really be on
you're
that.
Only like 32 years old, so I married you really young.
It's the ketones, right? We have 3 children. We live here in San Diego, California. 5 years ago, our children were, 11, 13, and 15. So that was 5 years ago. Now we've got 18, 20 and 16. But so 5 years ago, I was pretty much a stay-at-home mom. We got married fairly young. We had children, and it was my heart to stay home with my kids. I actually had kind of a negative connotation in my head, and I don't know, put it in the chat if any of you were like this, but I had been approached in the past by other people doing network marketing, right? Doing different companies. I see Stephanie going, yep. It was nothing that never seemed like something I wanted to do, to try to sell my friends or family on something in particular. So about 5 years ago, this is how it happened for me. I'm just hoping some of you can relate to this. Someone got me curious enough about being able to drink ketones. How many of you knew in the chat that you could drink ketones? If you did not know that that was an option, put no in the chat. So if you were like me and you had heard of a keto diet or tried a keto diet, but didn't know you could drink ketones, that was where I was. And when I heard, and I saw actually a Facebook Live, I was on Facebook. By the way, you guys, I was only on Facebook 5 years ago. I only had 150 Facebook friends. I happened to see this Facebook Live about being able to drink ketones. I kind of called BS on the product, right? Because I had just never heard of it. But my friend got me curious enough to start with a 5-pack trial. And that's really the key in this whole business, right? Britton mentioned it before, like getting someone curious enough to test drive the product. And my product story, I'll keep it really short, but I was that really tired mom chasing energy, drinking coffee at 2 p.m., whipping my clothes, bra, putting my sweats on at 7 p.m. and saying, babe, tag, you're it, right? I was dragging for energy. I had just hit my 40s. Things were shifting. And as I start to drink ketones, I'm like, wow, like I feel amazing. People started to notice a change in me. Britton said I was way nicer.
True story.
I'm like not craving carbs and sugar. I see a lot of people like nodding their head, like the product's phenomenal. And I thought, wow, like my sister needs this. My mom needs this. I had heard that we had a free product referral program, right? If you share with 2, you can get the product free as a customer. But in my brain, I started thinking, wait a second, I know way more than 2 people who need this. And if all I have to do is get someone curious enough to try a 5-day trial, maybe I could do something like this. You see, at the time, I was a stay-at-home mom and I was doing all the other things to create extra income. I was babysitting other people's kids. I was garage selling stuff on Craigslist. I didn't want to have to leave my house and not be available to pick up my kids from school. So my brain just started thinking, wow, maybe this is something I could share. Maybe this is different than all the things in the past. And 100% it is. This is community-based marketing. This is not your ordinary network marketing kind of business. This is community-based marketing where anybody, including someone like me with no prior experience in this type of business, no social media, can come in, start to share a product, get people curious enough to test drive some trials that I sold. I didn't give them away. And be able to start a business that I could work from the soccer field, from the water polo pool, from wherever I was with my kids. And so that's my story. I jumped in as I started to share it and our business started to grow. Britton kind of came alongside and he had a phenomenal experience on the product, lost 30 pounds. And we just kind of started doing this more together. So on this call, you're going to hear some stories from some of our friends on their journey being a promoter with Prüvit. You're going to see how you don't need any previous experience. You don't need to be a social media guru. I didn't even know what Zoom was or what a messenger chat was when I launched this business 5 years ago. So you can be like young, old. We have promoters of every like age. And it's just an awesome experience to be part of a community where now, honestly, like we were at a barbecue yesterday and I was saying some of my best friends I've met through this community. So whether you're looking for a way to make some extra income, I was, whether you're looking for some extra friends or people who are like-minded, right? The world is kind of a crazy place right now. If you're looking for like-minded people, you're going to find them here. If you're looking to just be inspired and have a community of people where you feel like you belong, you're going to find that here. So I wanted to introduce my friend, Matty V, to kind of share his story. I know he's been a promoter with Prüvit a little bit longer than us, actually, and, you know, has had an awesome experience and be able to create some freedom in his life by choosing to kind of step into this opportunity. So Matty, thank you for being with us and sharing today.
What's up, Jody? What's up, B? Good to see you guys. Thank you for all the kind words. And yeah, so great to like rehear your story, you know, again, especially at this, you know, stage and phase of where your business is at and where your kids are at and where you guys are at as a parent. You know, I miss your face. Like, dude, look at that goatee and that mustache. Isn't Britton such a stud? Love that dude, man. But no, it's so cool because like, you know, it just makes me think 7 years ago, like I wasn't a dad, I wasn't a husband. I was barely making ends meet. I wasn't an entrepreneur necessarily. I was more of a entrepreneur, you know, trying to figure things out. But it's crazy how fast 7 years can go by. So like just backtracking, you know, I was 32 at the time. Me and my girlfriend were living together. That's funny. She's now my wife. So yeah, at the time, I was kind of burning the candle from both ends. I was doing gig work, a lot of photo, a lot of video. I would go out and, you know, do these different gigs and events and kind of freelance my way through project to project. I'd spent, a lot of time in the hotel business and event production business. And I'd, gotten laid off a few years before. So I went out on my own to just, do gigs. And I was making ends meet that way, working with a couple of buddies of mine, doing graphic design and dabbling in social media marketing and, just kind of learning the lay of the land. I knew like I wanted freedom. I didn't want to have to put on a suit and tie every day and go work a 9-to-5 job, selling my soul for a small salary. I knew that I had more ability in me. I wanted to give more. And so that's kind of the journey that was inspiring me as I look back, to those days. And lo and behold, as I was burning the candle from both ends, working, late at night and getting up early in the morning to keep it going, I was running myself into the ground. So, my product story was pretty unique. I was looking for something to give me, energy, a boost throughout the day. I was drinking, 2-3 large coffees a day, just running off of caffeine and Chipotle. At the time, that's really all I could afford. So I'd get the double meats and, I piled it on as much as I could. And I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't exercising. I wasn't moving my body. So I was doing all this research and all these crazy like mushrooms and supplements that I could take to help, fix this and keep me burning at that level that I was going. What I didn't know was I was attracting something into my life that was much bigger than I ever could have imagined. And I was lining myself up with what I wanted to create on a daily basis. So by going through this process, basically just manifested these amazing people into my life. I wanted to surround myself with amazing people who were doing and achieving the results that I wanted to achieve. So literally out of thin air, I get this random message from a guy. Hey, dude, we're starting a business in a few months. I was wondering if you can help us out with some graphics. We don't really have anything or know what it's about, but, would love to sit down and talk with you. So I was like, all right, cool. I needed the work. I needed the project. So I was like, yeah, dude, let's link up. Let's talk. So that was my first introduction actually it was my second introduction with Michael Rutherford. And so he comes down to my office and he brings me this little plastic baggie full of white powder. And I'm super skeptical already. Like, I've never met this dude, I don't know you. And you're bringing me, a baggie full of white powder into my office. I'm like, no. But I trusted him enough to be like, all right, cool. Like, let's try this out and see what it's about. So we took some old busted up water bottles and dumped this powder in these old, beat up water bottles, and we shook it up and we drank our first Orange Dream ketone. And it was chalky and it was loud and it was like funky tasting, it had all this MCT. And it was crazy, right? And it was very orange. But about 45 minutes, after drinking it, boom, the lights came on and we're yakking away, coming up with all these ideas, looking at graphics and, hey man, if this is like a business that you're getting ready to start, these are some of the things that we can do. And, we're just all jacked and excited. Well, that feeling like never went away. Like that evening and that night, like I kept feeling like, oh my God, dude, I feel like really good. This is something that's, there's something here. So I still didn't see the business opportunity side of it at the time. But that was very early on. A couple months go by and we didn't have, there wasn't a product, there wasn't a business at the time. So I was doing some graphics and creating some content and just, making a few things to create some interest to share on Facebook. And then boom, we decided, hey, we're going to launch this business, right? So after that first sample, I didn't get another sample of ketones for like, I think it was 3 or 4 months, right? So it was June, I think, I can't remember the year, 2015, 2016, I can't remember. It was June sometime. But Mike reached out to me and said, yo, dude, just like sign up for this. Like, it doesn't matter what's going to happen, just like sign up, right? It was $375 for an MVP pack, which we don't even have anymore. we didn't have any product necessarily to say, so I didn't know when I was going to get the product. There was just a big question mark when it came to business. A lot of people would have ran from this, like just taken off and been like, no, you know, I don't want to do anything with one of those things. It's a startup. There's no chance, right? But I was like, all right, cool. Like I didn't have $375 at the time. So I was like, Mom, let me borrow your credit card. I'm going to get this $375. I'll make it back and I'll pay you, you know, the money for it. So she was like, all right, cool. Do whatever you need to do. So I bought the experience pack, long story short, and I made a post on Facebook and I said, this shit's fire. I don't know what I got my hands onto. No more coffee, no more energy drinks. I feel amazing. Pure therapeutic ketones. Fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji, and a picture of that first packet of ketones that I drank and a shaker bottle. And then it just created a bunch of curiosity and got a bunch of hits on Facebook, and everybody was asking, oh, what is it? Like, I want to try it. What do you got your hands on? I want to feel good. I want to feel better. So a guy that I was just mutual Facebook friends with, we had never met before. He lived in Austin, Texas. I lived in San Diego. He reached out and said, yo, dude, I call BS on those ketones. You can't get your body in ketosis off a drink. You named the company Prüvit. Well, prove it to me and send me 2 free samples. And if it works, then I'll buy a box. And we're like, okay, well, this probably has a long shot. So I had no experience in doing any type of business like this before. Literally, the coaching that I got from Michael was just hot potato them over to me. You know, if you get somebody interested in it, asking questions or hitting you with a message, just hot potato them over to me. Like, right, just connect them to me and let him do the heavy lifting. So me and Jared, we talked a little bit, and then I connected him with Michael, and then we all, you know, got together and figured out, hey, how can we get you samples, right? So all of that to be said, just by saying yes, that pushed the domino into effect and got this whole, you know, thing started. So that's allowed us to very quickly, in a short time frame, Jared introduced that to Mitch. Mitch introduced that to another couple who's no longer in the business. They introduced it to Nick Martinez. Nick Martinez introduced it to, what's that girl's name? Natalie Kilborn. I love her. I miss her so much. And then on down the line, right? I mean, it's just, so now 7 years fast forward, here we are with all you beautiful people and so many amazing experiences from me and Britton being able to travel, you know, all over the country, all over the world, spend, you know, some amazing time in Mexico when we launched Mexico a few years ago, you know, boots on the ground, being able to get that experience of going into a brand new country and take ketones into a brand new country, to take a business opportunity into a brand new country to help people feed their families, right? So all of this amazing experience, and it's never been like a day of work. You know what I'm saying? It's been community, it's been collaboration, it's been contribution. So if there's some way that you want to contribute at a higher level, personal development, learn certain skills that will help you become a better leader to lead your life. Like for me, I just wanted freedom. I knew I needed a little bit of money to cover my bases. I wanted to get married and put a ring on my lady's finger because she deserved it. Eventually wanted to have a baby and get a house. So I've been able to check all of those items off of my vision board, got a beautiful ring, had an amazing wedding, all paid for in cash from my Prüvit business. Just bought an amazing house in Orange County, California, kind of living this dream of a scenario where, you know, just even shorter, 15 years ago, when I moved out here to begin with, this was all just, you know, one big pipe dream. So to be able to see all of this, you know, coming to fruition in the past 7 years for not just myself, but so many other amazing people, just gratitude through the roof. Unbelievable, unbelievable opportunity, unbelievable industry to be a part of. So that's just a little bit of my story. I'm all down for Q&A. If you guys ever have any questions or want to know more about where we've come, where we're going, what's in the pipeline, you guys feel free to reach out anytime. But that's me. I'll see you guys in a bit. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, B.
Thank you,
Love
Maddie.
guys.
Love you, buddy. Hey, Maddie, did you ever pay your mom back? Did you make enough money to pay your mom back that $375?
I did, dude. The funny thing was, I think it was that first year at Christmas. I ended up I took her this big bag, and it was just a big bag of money. Like I got this huge big bag, right? And I just stuffed it with like stacks and stacks of like one. So, I just had like this big duffel bag full of money. It was a couple $1,000. And I was just like, Mom, here, thank you for just everything. So to be able to give that back to her, at that time, not to mention, all the other just amazing experiences that we've gotten to create, since then and through this whole process. It's just been phenomenal. So anybody who's on here, I encourage you to jump in or get back in touch with whoever invited you.
And not only is it like 7 years ago, it was hard to start this business. There are so many easy ways to get started. You can actually start a business for $1. You can get started with the Dollar Keto Club. We're going to talk about that. Listen, if you want to make a full-time business of this, that's available to you. If you just want to make a part-time business, how many people started off thinking, I just want to make a couple $100. A couple $100 will change somebody's life. If you can think, like, listen, that's a couple extra runs to the grocery store. It's braces for your kids, whatever it happens to be. If that's your goal, start there and you never know what this can become. This can become whatever you think it can be. Trust me, it can be. So
yeah, 100%. Like, I think people start out with a couple goals. Like, goal number 1 for me was like just getting my product for free, right? And if your goal is just get your product for free, we can help you do that. And then maybe your next goal is to start, making the extra $50, $100 a month to treat yourself to a new purse. That was actually what I did with the first couple dollars I made. I bought a new purse that I had never been able to say, like, oh, I could do this for myself when my kids needed stuff. We needed stuff for them, new shoes for them. So, or goal number 3, like, dream bigger. I mean, I really saw this vision, and I just want to cast it for you about where this could go, whether it's in 2 years, 5 years, or 10 years. You start something that never ends. This business never leaves you. You're always meeting people. You're always talking to people. You never know where this business could go. 5 years ago, my goal was free product and enough money to, help with the kids baseball, travel ball. Anyone have kids in sports? That's like an extra $500 to $1,000 a month if you have a couple of them, right? That was my goal. And then I started to see, wow, like, you could take this even farther, right? We can change our lives. And I'm so thankful for the opportunity that we had. I remember just a few months after we joined Prüvit, and I walked into the Halloween store, Party City. And before Prüvit, all 3 of my kids for Halloween got the dress up bin at the house. We got the makeup, the costumes. We did not spend money on those things. And we walked into Party City, and I told all 3 of our kids to go pick a brand new costume out. And they were like, what? And I still get really choked up because the total of the bill was only like $100, right? $105 for all 3 of my kids to get a new Halloween costume. But that's what this is. Like, all of us know that mom or dad that needs that. All of us know that neighbor or friend that needs this community. So I have my friend Jenna on here. And speaking of, I'm telling you, you will just meet the most incredible people. Jenna is one of my best friends now. She's bestie, and I never would have met her if it wasn't for this community. And she lives all the way across the country, too far from me. But I wanted her to hop on and just kind of share her experience being a promoter, so you can kind of just see how it's just so many different kinds of people fitting into this community. And when I say fitting in, let me just change. Language is powerful. It's not about you fitting in. It's about you having gifts. All of you have special gifts and skills that some of us don't have, and we want that. We want you. We want your gifts, and we want your skills to contribute to our community, which is super, super cool. So thank you, Jenna, for hopping in right now.
Hey, Jody, bestie. When you said the thing about best friends earlier, I was like, that's me. That's me. I'm the new best friend. Hi, guys. My name's Jenna. I'm joining you from Apollo Beach, Florida. I'm pretty excited to be joining today. Jody reached out to me at just the right time because I was thinking about some things that happened this week that now I get to share with you guys. So a little bit about my story, where I started, and then I'll bring you to where I'm at now. Where I started, when I first heard about this, I was waiting tables full time. I was a new mom. I had a 1-year-old daughter. And I also, during my pregnancy, both of my feet, my arches had completely collapsed. My ankles had turned in, and I needed to get both of my feet completely reconstructed and an arch built in them. So as a server, that's kind of a problem because you need your feet to do your job. And so when I heard about Prüvit, I had already had my first foot surgery. So not only was I not able to do the job that I had been doing, I also had my 1-year-old daughter. I was living on some disability pay and my savings, and I had a stack of medical bills and everyday bills, and was in a position where I was having to decide what bill I was going to skip which month. If you guys have ever been there, it's a horrible place to live in. It's like the worst feeling, especially as a mom, like feeling like and also my husband was very, very sick at the time and unable to work at all. So I was the sole provider for my family. I always get emotional when I talk about this part, so forgive me because I don't go back there very often. I've come so far since then. But that was like one of the darkest periods of my life. And then my friend Keisha invites me out to her baby shower. I actually met Maddie V. Maddie V was one of the first people in the community I met. Jody and Britton I met there as well. These crazy people all came together for this beautiful baby shower. They were all living these lives, so happy, pursuing better, like driving Teslas, and here I am, this girl who can't even pay my light bill, hanging out with all these people and seeing like, I don't know if you ever feel this way, but when you see people living this life and you think, I deserve to live this too. Like, they're not different from me. Like, I deserve this for myself. And like, all of that was coming up in me on that trip. Like, why not me? Like, why not this girl? Like, why do I have to like cry over which bill to pay? And what, like, there's more for me. And I knew it. And so all of that was coming up for me there. And I remember sitting with Keisha on the couch, and she was like, because backstory too, I had told her when I came out there that I was not going to join her business, that I was not at all interested, and I didn't want to hear about it while I was there. 100% told her, I am coming, but we're not having this conversation while I'm there, because I had walls, I had resistance. And she looked at me and she said, Jenna, like, I don't need you to join my business for me. Like, clearly we're doing fine whether you come be a part of this or not. She said, but I think that you need to join this business for yourself, because I think that it could change your life, and I would really love to see that happen. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. It was like, she's right. Like, if I don't do something different, nothing in my life is going to change. And knowing that I had another foot surgery ahead of me, like, I didn't know if I'd ever go back to waiting tables, which was always my security blanket. I could always wait tables at some fine dining restaurant and make a good income, but until I couldn't. And so I, like Maddie, I had to borrow money to get started, because I'm telling you, I couldn't even pay my light bill. And then as soon as I borrowed money to buy my promoter pack, I was like, complete freak out. Like, what if I can't do it? What if I can't sell any of this? Like, I just borrowed so much money to make this happen. Like, all of the limiting beliefs came up. But you know what actually happened? Within 2 weeks, I had all of the samples sold, because you know what I did? I took them with me everywhere, shook them up in front of people, and they're like, what is that? What is that? Like, that smells good. What is that? And I used to live off of 10 cups of coffee a day, like conservatively, like a whole pot of coffee every day. New mom, waiting tables, tired. Like, if you've been there, and you know it's very easy to drink a whole pot of coffee a day. And suddenly I wasn't drinking coffee anymore, and I was acting happier and had more energy. Like, you guys see me right now. I haven't had coffee at all today. This is pure ketones. and so people started to see a shift in me, asking about it. I sold 200 samples in like 2 weeks of this stuff. Like, it was easy. It was shockingly easy. And I our company is amazing. They stack bonuses when you get started, so you can make a good chunk of change really fast. And all of a sudden I was like, my mortgage is paid, my bills are paid, I'm paying off debt this month. I've been in this for 30 days, and like, I'm not panicking when the mail shows up because there might be a bill in there. Like, I have money to like start to pay the bills. Like, I don't know if you guys can relate to that. Put a 1 in the chat. Like, that feeling of panic when a bill shows up, because you're like, oh no, this one's from the hospital. How much do I owe them? Because it was That was my life. And so I pursued this, and I dove into the community. I'm very invested in everything Prüvit now. Like, you guys will see me everywhere all the time, showing up for these calls as often as I can and at the events and hanging out with all the Prüvit people and sharing ketones because of physically what they did for me, but also because of how the business changed my life. I was able to move my family from Michigan to Florida. We have a beautiful house here. I love living in Florida. But here's the part I wanted to share with you that happened recently is I have a 6-bedroom house here. So I have some people renting rooms, a couple single moms renting rooms from me right now. And one of them the other day, she didn't know I could hear her, but she was talking to one of the other housemates in the other room. And this is the first time I've shared this story, so I might actually get teary-eyed. I've been good so far. but she said, she was talking to the other housemate and she was like, I want what she has. Like, she gets to be like, she works, but she's home with her kid. Like, she's here with Haley all day. Like, if Haley needs her, she's there. Like, she fits her work into the pockets of her, like, I call it the pockets of my day. So she repeated that. She like fits it into the pockets of her time, but she's here with her kid and she can take her kid to the pool whenever she wants. And she can like she lives in this house and she lives in Florida. And like, this is a single mom on like sharing a bedroom with her kid in my house because that's all she can afford right now. And like, so like, I am gonna cry because to hear that, like, and it reminds me of like where I started and how I've been able to build something that now I can bring other people into that could potentially change her life in the way that my life has been changed, and allow a mom to be home with her kid the way that I'm home with my kid. And like I'm with my kid every day. Like, you know, when she's home, I'm home. Like it's anyway, I love it. I get very excited about it. And I know that there's other people like me who know that they deserve more in their life, who know that like there's nothing special. I mean, there's a lot special about me, but there's nothing that like makes me more special than anybody else. Like, we all deserve whatever we want in life. And it's just a matter of making choices that align with what we want to invite into our lives, if that makes sense. So this is a great place to do that. These are great people to do it with. And I just want to invite you all to be a part of it with us. That's my story.
And there's so much more because I know your story. There's so much more. You could talk for an hour and it gets better and better and better. And thank you, Jenna, for sharing. And I just, you know, as you were talking, it just made me realize, like, over the past 5 years, like, we've been through a pandemic. We've been through a lot of people shifting what they thought normal work was. We've been through people now saying, wait, I was home for 12 months working from home. That worked out great. Why do I have to do a 2-hour commute anymore? That's not what life is like in 2022 going into 2023. There is a really big shift in business. There is a really big shift in people's visions. There's a big shift in people realizing, like, wait, you know, I'm 50 years old now. Is this how I'm not really 50, but like he is, but like, is this what I want to do with my life? Like, is this bring me joy? Right. And I just want to, before Britton goes over kind of the options to get started, you know, he mentioned the Dollar Keto Club, just to kind of piggyback off what Jenna said about how she sold trials. She didn't know how to do that. We have a system. She didn't know what to post on Facebook to create people's curiosity, but we taught her. She didn't know how to share the conversation or explain the ingredients, but we helped her. That's community-based marketing. So if you're sitting here on the call going, I'm not an expert about ingredients. I wouldn't know the first thing about creating curiosity. I wouldn't know how to sell my trials. I'm telling you, there are people on your team who do. Just like Maddie V said, Rutherford said, throw them to me, right? That's our simple system. We call it ACE, attract, connect, enroll. So I don't want you to think here, if you're sitting on this call, you're sitting here for a reason. It's no coincidence. And if there's any part of you that is thinking, I wonder if I can do this, I'm just telling you, you can. And this can be anything you want it to be. So I'm super excited because we do have something called a Dollar Keto Club right now. When I joined, it wasn't for $1. Matty V paid over $300 and he didn't even get product for that. So Britton's going to go over really briefly, just different ways to get started. Maybe it's just you drinking some product. Maybe you know that trials are the way to do it. I didn't know how I was going to sell my website, so to speak. That didn't feel super comfortable to me. But I knew I could get someone curious enough to try 5 days and buy them off me. So go ahead and break down some of the ways to get started.
Yeah. So guys, if you want to become a promoter, you can do it for $49. That's the promoter fee. And you can buy a box and become a promoter. I mean, listen, if you're going to start a business and it only costs $49 to be a promoter, that's a great deal. But right now you can start it for $1. Okay. There's 4 different packs that you can purchase as a promoter to get the $1 keto club. And that's what it costs, $1 to become a promoter. And then after that, you're just paying for your pack. There is one pack called the Better Bundle. It's 2 boxes of the challenge pack and 1 box of Mitoplex. That's a great way to start. If you just want to get a couple boxes, 1 maybe for yourself, 1 to sample out, mix the Mitoplex in, you can become a promoter for $1. Then you can get the best bundle, which includes a little bit more. It also includes a 24 fast. It includes an extra box of Keto Pro, which is protein infused ketones. So the best bundle is that. Then you can also add the promoter membership for $1. Then we have 2 what we call promoter packs. There's the mini pack, which is just over 22% off. It's 5 boxes of ketones, 100 servings. I think it's $497 plus the $1 membership. And lastly, we have the max bundle, which is 10 boxes. You get that bundle at 30% off. So that costs you $910 plus $1 to become a promoter. But listen, if you just follow the simple steps on how to share those trials, you'll profit off of your max promoter pack. If you sell your trials, you basically tell people you're going to sell them at your cost. They don't know you're getting them for 30% off. You're selling them for what they would be paying for if they were to come in as a customer. You'll profit about $600 just flipping trials out. Okay. Some of those customers who are doing trials are going to become your customers. They're going to buy a box. That's when you start generating commission and doing this as a business. So those are 4 different ways you can get started. 5 if you want to just do the $49, but why would you pay $49 when you could do it for $1, honestly? So get back with the person who invited you and ask them, hey, how can I get started? What's the best way for me to do it? And like Jody said, you don't do this by yourself. Okay. So if you're not sure that you can do it, trust me, you can build this big. And we want to see you guys at the next event so we can, high five you and just listen to your story and how many people's lives you're changing. Because to me, that's like the best thing about being a promoter. Honestly, the business has been great for us financially. It's given us, the product's been crazy, but this community and the lives that we've been able to change, to me, that's worth more than the income and everything else we've made. And just excited for you guys to get started.
Yeah. And just to wrap that up, because Britton always says I have to have the last word. And so I'm just going to go along with that, right? When I got started, I chose that max promoter pack, the one with the most trials, put it on a credit card. And I just went out with the intent of getting people curious enough to try 5 days. I sold out in 3 days of that. It's not that many people trying 5 days. What's the math? 40 people trying 5 days or 20 people trying 10 days. Is that right? Or 20, something. Look, if I can do this business, y'all can do this business. I can't even count with math, but I knew if I just got it in people's mouths that they would want more. And that's what this is. So again, that max promoter pack also comes with some higher earning potential in our compensation plan.
Couple really cool bonuses.
So if you're looking at this as a business, I always say, look at some of those perks on the bigger promoter pack, because you will sell through those trials and you will probably need more really shortly. So
I'll just tell you really quickly, when we bought the promoter pack, we bought the big one and Jody was really nervous about it. We actually had to buy 4 more our first month. So if we'd have come in with a smaller pack, like not wondering if we could do it, we got all the benefits of getting the big pack. So if you're wondering if you can, trust me, it's you can do it. And the big pack, if you're going to start a business, the big pack will definitely launch you for success and give you better earning opportunities over the first year. That's definitely a way to go if you can do it. We didn't think we could do it. We had to get 4 more packs after that first month.
That being said, get in where you fit in. Get in where you fit in. I had a couple friends join last week with the $1 Keto Club, 2 boxes of ketones and 1 box of Mitoplex, and they launched a business. So get in where you fit in. Connect back with the person who invited you to this call. If you were invited to this call, the person who invited you believes that you can do this. I just want to emphasize that. They believe in you and they want better for you in all parts of your life. So whether it's community you're looking for, whether it's some extra income, whether it's personal development, whether it's new friends, I hope you guys join us. I hope you join our community. We're not going anywhere. Ketones are not going anywhere. The future is about aging better. We don't have leggings or makeup. We literally have a product that's for men, women, young, old. We have something in our hands that is so special. And I'm telling you, in 10 years, people will still just be finding out about drinking ketones. Your friends don't know it yet. If you want to just kind of test the waters and launch your business, send a text out right after this call. Send a text to anyone you know, care, and love and say, hey, I'm just curious. Have you ever heard of drinking ketones? Guess what? They haven't. That's why this opportunity is so incredible, to be able to change people's lives, help them feel better, and help them launch a business. So thank you so much, Maddie V. Thank you, Jenna, for hopping on. Thank you guys for giving us a little bit of your time on a Sunday afternoon or evening where you are. Thanks, babe, for hosting this with me. And I hope you guys have a blessed, blessed weekend.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.